President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, and Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore, His Excellency Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, Excellencies, the Minister of Indonesia, and Excellencies, the Ministers of the Republic of Singapore. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now we will hear the joint statement from both the country leader. Firstly, we would like to invite the President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pertama-tama saya ingin menyampaikan selamat datang kembali di Indonesia kepada PM Lee Hsien Loong dan delegasi. Pertemuan saya dan PM Lee membahas upaya penguatan kerjasama bilateral di berbagai bidang, terutama di bidang ekonomi dan saling tukar pandangan mengenai berbagai isu di kawasan. Pertama, penguatan kerjasama pemulihan ekonomi. Singapura merupakan investor terbesar di Indonesia. Investasi Singapura di Indonesia pada Januari sampai September 2021 senilai 7,3 miliar US dollar. Pertemuan retreat mencatat adanya investasi baru senilai 9,2 miliar US dollar antara lain di bidang energi baru terbarukan di sekitar Batam serta Pulau Sumba dan Manggarai Barat NTT, serta pembangunan hub logistik di Pelabuhan Tanjung Priok. Investasi di bidang energi dan energi terbarukan terus menjadi prioritas pemerintah Indonesia dalam rangka memajukan ekonomi hijau dan berkelanjutan. Untuk mendukung iklim investasi hijau dalam rangkaian pertemuan retreat ini telah ditandatangani MOU kerjasama energi. Kemudian MOU kerjasama Green and Circular Economy Development. Selain itu, guna terus menjaga stabilitas finansial dan moneter untuk mendukung pemulihan ekonomi, telah ditandatangani pula beberapa kerjasama antara lain MOU kerjasama keuangan, dan pada November 2021 kerjasama Local Currency Bilateral Swap Agreement dan Bilateral Repo Line telah diperpanjang 1 tahun. Saya juga berharap agar MOU antara Bank Sentral terkait inovasi pembayaran, anti pencucian uang, dan pencegahan pendanaan terorisme dapat segera ditandatangani. Selain itu, guna mendukung mobilitas manusia yang aman, kedua negara saat ini sedang memfinalisasi kerjasama pengakuan vaksin dan penyelarasan interoperabilitas platform pelacakan dan perlindungan yang dimiliki kedua negara. Yang kedua, di bidang politik, hukum, dan keamanan, saya menyambut baik tercapainya sejumlah kesepakatan antara kedua negara. Exchange of letters antara Menteri Koordinator Bidang Maritim dan Investasi Republik Indonesia dan Menteri Koordinasi untuk Keamanan Nasional Singapura. Kemudian perjanjian ekstradisi. Kemudian persetujuan Flight Information Region, FIR, dan pernyataan bersama Menteri Pertahanan kedua negara tentang komitmen untuk memberlakukan perjanjian kerjasama pertahanan. Untuk perjanjian ekstradisi dalam perjanjian yang baru ini, masa retroaktif diperpanjang dari semula 15 tahun menjadi 18 tahun sesuai dengan pasal 78 KUHP. Sementara dengan penandatanganan perjanjian FIR, maka ruang lingkup FIR Jakarta akan melingkupi seluruh wilayah udara teritorial Indonesia, terutama di perarian sekitar Kepulauan Riau dan Kepulauan Natuna. Ke depan diharapkan kerjasama penegakan hukum, keselamatan penerbangan, dan pertahanan keamanan kedua negara dapat terus diperkuat berdasarkan prinsip saling menguntungkan. Kemudian yang ketiga, kerjasama pendidikan dan pengembangan sumber daya manusia. Kerjasama di bidang SDM ini telah menjadi komitmen kedua negara sejak beberapa tahun yang lalu. Untuk tahun 2022 akan dilakukan pelatihan SDM antara Singapura dan pemerintah Provinsi Kepulauan Riau untuk penguatan kapasitas di bidang food industry 4.0 dan supply chains. Kerjasama seperti ini dapat dikembangkan lebih lanjut di berbagai daerah. Untuk skala lebih besar, saya menyambut baik rencana penandatanganan MOU on Human Capital Partnership Arrangement. MOU ini akan memperkuat kerjasama riset dan penguatan kelembagaan dan pertukaran mahasiswa dalam rangka memperkokoh konsep kampus merdeka di Indonesia. Terakhir, BPMi dan saya juga melakukan tukar pandangan mengenai beberapa isu kawasan. Indonesia dan Singapura memiliki kesamaan pandangan mengenai pentingnya memperkuat kesatuan, cara kerja dan kelembagaan ASEAN agar ASEAN siap menghadapi berbagai tantangan di masa depan. Mengenai Myanmar, kita sangat prihatin melihat perkembangan situasi di Myanmar. Indonesia dan Singapura memiliki pandangan yang sama mengenai pentingnya pelaksanaan 5-point consensus. Konsensus ini merupakan keputusan ASEAN pada tingkat tinggi dan harus dihormati oleh semua. Kita juga sepakat bahwa keselamatan dan kesejahteraan rakyat Myanmar terus menjadi perhatian utama. Oleh karena itu, bantuan kemanusiaan perlu terus didorong dan diberikan tanpa diskriminasi. Saya juga menyampaikan mengenai pentingnya penguatan kelembagaan ASEAN agar ASEAN lebih tangguh dan mampu merespon berbagai tantangan baru di masa mendatang. Sekali lagi, terima kasih BPMi atas pertemuan yang sangat konstruktif ini. Dan sekarang dengan hormat saya mengundang Yang Mulia Perdana Menteri Singapura untuk menyampaikan pandangannya. Saya persilahkan. Terima kasih.
Your Excellency President Joko Widodo, Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank President Jokowi for his very warm hospitality to me and my delegation. Bintan is an apt venue for the Singapore-Indonesia Leaders Retreat, given the strong economic and people-to-people links between Singapore and the Riau Islands province of Kepri. This is my 5th Leaders Retreat with President Jokowi. Our last one was held in Singapore in 2019. Typically, we hold the Leaders Retreat annually, but the pandemic disrupted our plans. Notwithstanding, the President and I have kept in touch regularly. Most recently, we met in October in Rome while attending the G20 summit. But it is still important for us to resume the Leaders Retreat because it is a key platform to discuss and make progress on our bilateral agenda. I'm therefore most grateful to the President and his officials for making these excellent arrangements to host my delegations and me. Today, our bilateral relations take a major step forward. I'm very happy that the President and I have just witnessed the signing of a balanced set of agreements that addresses 3 long-standing bilateral issues between Singapore and Indonesia: the flight information region, the defense cooperation, and the extradition of fugitives. These 3 issues are important to our 2 countries. They've been on our bilateral agenda for several decades. We've worked together and discussed them many times before. At our previous Leaders Retreat, President Jokowi and I decided that it was time to decisively settle these long-standing bilateral issues. We endorsed a framework which would address the needs and interests of both sides. We tasked Coordinating Minister Pak Luhut Panjaitan and Senior Minister and Coordinating Minister Teo Chee Hean to follow up with detailed negotiations. I'm very glad that we have now achieved what we set out to do. Our 2 sides have reached agreement on these long-standing bilateral matters. When implemented, the FIR agreement will meet the civil aviation needs of both countries and uphold the safety and efficiency of air traffic in a manner consistent with ICAO rules. The Defense Cooperation Agreement will strengthen cooperation between our armed forces and advance our defense relations. The Extradition Treaty will enhance cooperation in combating crime and send a clear, positive signal to investors. In addition, we exchanged letters to agree that these 3 agreements will enter into force simultaneously. What remains will be for both countries to complete our domestic processes to ratify and bring the set of agreements into force. The conclusion of these agreements demonstrates the strength and maturity of Singapore-Indonesia relations. These agreements take into account both parties' interests, represent a good balance of benefits, and are durable agreements for the long haul, designed to last for at least a generation, and create a solid foundation to move bilateral relations forward with confidence and trust. I thank President Jokowi for his leadership and vision, which have brought about this very positive outcome. I also thank Pak Luhut, SM Teo, and the officials on both sides for their tireless work and their shared determination to make progress on these long-standing bilateral issues. I encourage the ministers and officials to maintain close cooperation and coordination and implement the agreements expeditiously. President Jokowi and I also discussed the resumption of cross-border travel. Indonesia has resumed tourism travel from Singapore to Bintan and Batam. It implemented a travel bubble to Bintan and Batam, and Singapore will discuss with Indonesia how we can make this bidirectional. And we hope without taking too long. President Jokowi and I agreed to continue discussions also to expand air and sea travel more generally to more destinations in Indonesia. But we have to take into account the COVID situation, and in particular, the outbreak of the Omicron variant, and we will do so at a pace that both sides are comfortable with, taking into account our respective public health situations. We also reviewed our ongoing bilateral cooperation. As the President noted, Singapore has consistently been Indonesia's top foreign investor since 2014, and despite the pandemic, our investments have grown. At the last Leaders' Retreat, we signed a bilateral investment treaty which has entered into force. This will build investor confidence and contribute to economic growth and jobs growth. And the Kendal Industrial Park, which President and I jointly opened at our 2016 retreat, is doing well. It has attracted $1.6 billion in investments and will create many thousands of jobs. Our finance ministries and central banks are also strengthening institutional linkages to deepen financial cooperation. And Singapore and Indonesia are at the same time, besides these existing areas, also exploring new areas of collaboration, such as sustainability, the green economy, the digital economy, and human capital development. And I'm happy that our officials are already meeting to discuss cooperation on sustainability. We have formalized cooperation on green and circular economy development, on energy cooperation, and exchanges between our students and educators. We also discussed regional developments, in particular Myanmar, where the situation remains serious. We noted that no significant progress has been made implementing ASEAN's 5-point consensus since it was adopted in Jakarta in April last year. We are committed to help Myanmar reach a durable and peaceful resolution in the interest of its people. But it is essential for the ASEAN chair and his special envoy to engage all parties involved. We also need to see progress in the delivery of humanitarian assistance. Singapore will continue to work with the ASEAN chair Cambodia and the next chair, which is Indonesia, and as well as other ASEAN member states on the full implementation of the 5-point consensus and other relevant decisions. I also thank President Jokowi for inviting Singapore to this year's G20 meetings. We look forward to supporting Indonesia's G20 chairmanship and making it a success. We are very grateful that Jokowi has hosted a successful and fruitful leaders' retreat. It shows that our bilateral relationship is in good working order. Our two countries are able to work together in challenging circumstances and resolve long-standing issues in an open and constructive manner. I'm confident that we will build on these strong foundations and develop new areas of collaborations to benefit future generations, and look forward to working closely with the President to take our bilateral relations to greater heights. Terima kasih. Thank you.
The Honorable ladies and gentlemen, you just have been listening for the joint statement from the President of the Republic of Indonesia and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore. Now we would like to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Indonesia and His Excellency the Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore to the dining room. Thank you.